Hi, I'm Jonathan Allen. I'll be doing a World Christian View from a book review on Chapter 5 today. I'm at a national cemetery, and this is where we really have a playing out of the example of the Golden Rule by veteran service organizations who provide veteran honors for veterans that they don't know. So really doing unto others as you'd have them do unto you. And that's where they are living out that example. But going on with chapter 5, this is plausible ways of falling short. So we can't plead purity from that section because we can learn from Christians in other cultures. And if we learn from Christians in other cultures, we'll be more effective as missionaries by learning those cultures. I agree with where Smith mentions that a typical Christian nowadays would be considered a woman in a village in Nigeria or Brazil because of the growth of Christianity in those areas. Another section talks about settling for tourism, being careful to differentiate missions and tourism. Are you going to actually be doing missionary work, or are you going to be a tourist? Another thing to be aware of is not affecting the local economy in a negative way. In talking to one missionary, they explained a story of missionaries bringing in shoes to a local area in Africa, and that affected the local shoe trade, which negatively affected that economy. So you have to be aware of that before you want to make an effort in that area. The other area is trusting technology. I do agree that there is a worldwide connection now you can make very quickly. We can talk to people in any part of the world, in any language, and also get pictures from anywhere in the world. But we do want to be careful on doing it appropriately and being aware of how those words that we speak can be mistaken for other words in the meanings. Relying on English, currently 25% of the world population can speak and understand English. That still leaves 75% who can't. So if we're going to look at reaching out to the world, as it says in Acts 1:8, we need to look at how we're reaching out. And if we reached one person who's a citizen of another country and speaks the native language, it'd be far better for them to be saved and then to be the missionary outreach in that country. Smith also mentions being aware of regional differences in word meaning. When I was living in the south part of the United States, and you went to a restaurant, they'd ask you what kind of Coke that you want. Well, Coke in Michigan is one brand, so you can have Coke or Pepsi, but in the South, Coke meant all soft drinks. So you have to be aware of regional differences as well. Be careful of how English is viewed by citizens of another country, because some countries have had negative instances of experiences with certain English-speaking countries. So be aware of that before you go in to a country as well. Another section called leaving it to the specialist. All of us are supposed to be witnesses. Some people are, lifelong missionaries, but we are supposed to be missionaries to our local area, to our community, to our families. So we need to be aware of that as well. Smith talks about business, housing, and healthcare issues to be concerned about as well, how that can be differences in different cultures. So be aware of that, and don't do things that will make the culture that you're trying to impact have to change their ways per se, that will take them out of their cultural, the culture that they've developed. Bowman and Deal discuss Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where somebody who's reached the self-actualization stage. And this is important because somebody who's met that stage could very well be able to act out the golden rule in doing to others as you would have them do unto you. So those are some critical things to consider, and the chapter was well written discussing those issues and bringing those together to relate around the golden rule and how we can relate to others around us. Next up will be chapter 6. Thank you very much.